I don't think the Ravens are going to lose, first of all. But, yeah, the Bills are very well coached. They know exactly who they are, and they do that very well. And Josh Allen, quietly, the last month and a half of the season, has done a really good job protecting the football. And I would argue he is the second best running quarterback in football behind Lamar Jackson. That he's dynamic as a runner, and he's a big physical punishing runner. So there's a lot of things where the Bills in Buffalo can present problems for you. The question for Baltimore is this: are they going to be able to continue this red-hot streak of football? The last 6 weeks, it's not just that they've won 6 games in a row like this. It's who they've beaten and how they've beaten them. They have won at Seattle by 14, against New England by 17, played one bad team, Cincinnati. They beat them by 36, beat Houston by 34, beat the Rams by 39, and then in really awful conditions played the Niners, who were one of the best teams in football, or one of the best teams in football, beat them 20-17. They are outscoring their opponents in this stretch with really, you have Seahawks, New England, Houston, San Francisco, 4 of the top 7 teams in football, average score of 37-13. I don't know if you can keep up that hot of streak moving forward. You saw the offense take a bit of a step back in San Francisco, but conditions in defense. So, yeah, they've got to be on upset alert. This isn't the Bengals, clearly. This is a really good team and a team, Danny, they might have to play come the postseason, but I don't think they're going to lose to Buffalo.
I think they need to be on upset alert. I love the Bills with the number, getting 5.5 points, playing at home. I think if Lamar Jackson was not playing, like let's just say Joe Flacco had, played fine, he wasn't, we would be raving about Josh Allen and how he is changing the game. I mean, it's over the course of their 2 years playing, he has 5 more rushing touchdowns than Lamar does. Yep. Of course, he doesn't have the dynamic, escapability and just electricity that you can see with Lamar Jackson.
And raw rushing
yards. Yeah, he's of raw rushing yards, but he is actually playing really good football. You mentioned that. I think a critical stat to watch out for, it's kind of a unique one. If he completes 60% or more of his passes, they are 11-0. In this game, I think he can do that. I think they're going to have a game plan. It's going to be a little bit more conservative. And I think their defense may be one of the first ones that can at least contain Lamar Jackson somewhat. I would not envision Lamar Jackson to have another 100-yard rushing a day against this Bills defense. So I think they should be on upset alert. And it shouldn't take away from the Ravens. I still think the Ravens are the best team in the AFC, but the gauntlet of the NFL schedule, 16 games, putting it all together, the intensity level, all these, and taking it on the road, I think it could catch up to them this weekend.
Can Buffalo take anything away from what San Francisco did to Baltimore last week?
My only question there is how much of that was the conditions.
Right. I think a lot of it was
but what every team is going to take away from not just San Francisco, but the game plan with Baltimore is very simple. You have to almost totally disrespect anything outside the hashes. You have to say, hey, if Hollywood Brown is going to kill us over the top, if Lamar is going to have one of his better deep downfield outside the hashes passing game, we're drawing dead. You have to try to put a disproportionate focus on the middle of the field for the short passes to the tight ends and for Lamar running in that read option scheme. That is what San Francisco was doing. Lamar had barely over 100 yards passing, and I think the receiver with the most receiving yards against San Francisco is Willie Snead with 12. Mm-hmm. And so you just have to leave wide receivers one-on-one and put all your personnel in the middle of the field. That is the way to slow them down. The reason Baltimore's so dangerous, and forget how well their defense is playing as of late, is Lamar has evolved enough as a passer that if he's having a good day as a passer, then you can't beat him. Like, you're going to need Lamar to be erratic throwing the football if you're going to beat them, because they are so dominant rushing the football, and they all of a sudden have a far improved defense since the trade for Marcus Peters.
The weather actually became a help to the defense when you can take away, because the underneath throws, the shorter ones to your tight end, those are a little bit easier to get a little velocity. You can spin it a little bit tighter. When you're trying to make the harder throws down the field, the elements become much more of a factor. So that absolutely played to the 49ers' favor in that game.
And just real quick, credit to Josh Allen, because he was a punchline for me. I didn't understand why they took him at number 6. I still don't know if in a few years that pick's going to look like the right one. But this year, only Lamar, Deshaun, Russell, and Dak have accounted for more touchdowns at the quarterback position. Over the last 8 weeks of football, he's only thrown 2 interceptions. He is really, he's not just a passenger on the Bills train the last few months. He's been one of the driving forces, and I never saw that coming. So even if he can't sustain it, credit to Josh Allen, who I poked a lot of fun at his rookie season.
8 straight games accounting for multiple touchdowns, best in franchise history.
He's been really good.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.